So, welcome to Trimming the Movie Fat, the podcast where we trim movies from franchises that don't belong. And in this special episode, we're giving our first impressions on the latest Batman movie, the imaginatively titled The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell and Paul Dano. The film is directed by Matt Reeves. So, no brother Paul to co-host with me this evening, but fear not, I'm not flying the Batwing solo. I've got some guests joining me in the derelict railway station Batcave. First up, the man who inspired the new Riddler's gimp outfit, Davie Melon. How are you, Davie?
Not bad, not bad.
And hopefully joining us later, with a really good reason as to why he's late, is a man who is prone to putting on the Bane mask in and outside his home, Alan Traynor. And that actually is a true story. Alan will sometimes bring the Bane mask to the office and wear it. I have the photos to prove it. So we'll hear from Alan later on. So I should point out to anyone listening that this will be a very spoilerific episode. So if you don't want to have this movie ruined for you, before you've even seen it, listen to this afterwards. Go away, goodbye, enjoy it, come back after. For the rest of you, let's talk.
Batman dies! Oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to.
No. We could build a very different Batman movie in our head here, couldn't we? So, Davey, I suppose before we talk about the new movie, let's kind of get our own background to Batman and the movies. So, for you, what was the first Batman movie you seen at the cinema?
Certainly not the first one, because that was a 15, wasn't it?
1989?
Yep, the Michael Keaton one, that was a 15.
That was the first ever 12A in Britain, I think. It was a 15 on video.
I didn't see that. I don't think I've seen any. I'm pretty sure I didn't see any of the other ones. Maybe.
Not even Batman and Robin?
One. I think I've seen the Jim Carrey one, but no. The first one I seen was Batman Begins.
Oh, good one to begin, so to speak.
It's alright, yeah.
That was your first one. Yeah, for me it was Batman 89. Yeah, I loved it. For a long time that was actually my favourite movie. That film just blew my mind. I think Tim Burton's gothic style, Danny Elfman's score, and there hadn't been a comic book movie like that before. And of course the only kind of incarnation of Batman I had seen on the screen previously was Adam West in the 60s TV show, and all of a sudden you had this dark gothic movie. Oh, it was glorious, loved it. And what is your favourite Batman movie prior to this one, Davey?
Actually, just going back to the 89 Batman, did they have like a Panini sticker book?
Yes, it did. Yep.
Because I certainly remember having that and trying to collect the stickers. But
Davey, that movie had everything. The marketing, I think everything was marketed in that film.
So I would have been about 10 then, so probably just too young to go and see it in the cinema. But certainly had a lot of the memorabilia.
Yeah, so I remember with the rating for that, they brought the 12 in because it was going to get a 15 at the cinemas, and I think there was pressure on because it was Batman, I think the cinema classification and all that. So this is where they brought the 12 in to be like the PG-13 in America. But on video, they had a different rating system, so that they still hadn't brought in the 12 at that stage. So when it came out in video, it was a 15 initially. So yeah.
I think you still
Yeah.
had to be 12 to go to the cinema, yeah? But with an adult.
Yes.
Rather than
Well,
12A now, where you can go, you can do it at 12. But
yeah.
as long as you go with an adult.
That's right. So when the 12 was brought in, it was a pure, you had to be 12 or over to see it. Yeah, then I think subsequently they brought in the 12A where you could go and see it whatever age you were, as long as you were with an adult. So basically it's a glorified PG. And yeah, your favourite Batman movie prior to this one?
I would say it's got to be The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight, yeah. I love all the Dark Knight trilogy. I love those movies, especially Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and Christopher Nolan's one of my favourite directors. But yeah, those first two movies in the Dark Knight trilogy are just sensational for me. Okay, so that's our background to where we are when it comes to Batman on film. So the first proper question, and we need to answer this as a yes or no. Did you go batty for this movie, Davey?
Yes, I did. I managed to get a ticket for the preview screening the night before it came out. I think they
Yeah.
had all the midnight coming out at midnight, but they had a
Nice.
7 o'clock show in IMAX, and yeah, it was full of Batman geeks there.
Nice. That sounds good. Yeah, I will also say yes. Although I will try and trump you, Davey. Did you actually have Batman at the cinema?
No.
Well, Davey, yesterday Batman was at the Odeon. And I'm sure it was
watching the film or there as a promotional tool.
how dare Davey, I'm sure it was the real Batman and he was just there to keep the security tight. I'm sure of it. But yeah, no, there was a Batman there, and it was actually quite nice. There was a mum coming out of a screening of something with two of her children, and one of them was a young girl. And of course, at that age, it's Batman. Batman, hello, Batman. Why are you here? And I think I couldn't really hear the answer, but I'm guessing it was going to be something like to bring vengeance. But it could be something else, I don't know. So was your screening busy? Presumably, with it being the first couple of showings?
Yeah, it was pretty much full. Not many seats left that I could see.
Well, yeah. Well, we've already discussed this, but the listeners haven't heard. I had a bit of a mishap yesterday because I was taking my oldest son Luke to see it, and Luke is just a couple of months shy of being 15. But we booked the tickets thinking there wouldn't be any issues getting into the movie. But of course there was, because they were IDing anybody who looked around about the 15 age. And of course, Luke never had his phone or ID on him anyway. And even with the manager coming over, there was no getting in, Davey. They weren't letting us in. So
and he's not quite got your hairline yet.
no, he's not got that hairline yet. So give him a couple of years and it will be no bother whatsoever. Well, it's funny when they asked, have you got ID? I went, well, I do, yeah. But so I had to then, poor Luke never got to see it, so I went back last night and got to see it, which was great. And yeah, it was busy enough. I don't tend to find the cinema overly busy on a Sunday night at the best of times. But the film was a 15. Do you feel that was justified, David?
Like I said, I really need to go and see it again because it's the first one. You just try to get to know it, but it seemed quite a lot of threat in it, and seemed quite a lot of like saw type traps and things like that being used on the people that were getting killed. So I would say so, probably.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think in terms of language or anything, I don't think there was anything too extreme there. And I think Batman dished out a few pummelings, but maybe no worse than maybe something you'd see in this Christopher Nolan trilogy. But yeah, I think the big thing, as you say, was the Riddler stuff, wasn't it?
Or even the guys on the subway, things like that.
Yeah. So, well, I think even the Riddler's first on-screen appearance, like, Jesus Christ. It's like Saw or Seven or something like that. So, yeah, I know, I think in America it got a PG-13.
It wasn't Jim Carrey, was it?
Well, it certainly wasn't, that's for sure, no. But yeah, it's a tough one, that. It probably was justified, though. So we all enjoyed the movie. I know Alan enjoyed it as well. Hopefully he'll be here soon to explain that himself. So we all enjoyed it. So Davie, for you, what were the 5 specific things you enjoyed most about it?
When I first heard that Robert Pattinson was playing Batman, I was kind of like, really? Can I imagine him in the part?
Yep.
Even like seeing stills of it before the movie, I was like, not sure about this. But as soon as he put on the Batsuit and came out, he totally encapsulated the role. I was like, look, this is an inspired casting. He's done it really well. He fills out the suit brilliantly. Really dark performance rather than your George Clooney playing for laughs. So that was one of my favourite parts in it. Yeah. And I was not aware that John Turturro was in the movie, so when he appeared, he's brilliant in pretty much everything he plays it. So I really enjoyed seeing him. What else? Towards the end with the Joker making a wee appearance. I wasn't expecting that. Spoiler alert. And it was really, I had to actually Google it to find out who actually played that, because I had no idea who the actor was, and I still have no idea who the actor is. So
I don't know if you were like me. Initially I thought, is it the Joker or is it Two-Face? I know it's definitely the Joker, but no, just initially I thought, is it Two-Face or the Joker?
I liked that. I liked Catwoman. I thought that was played really well, and the way it fit into the movie, and also the fight scenes that she had in it. I thought she was a great addition to the movie.
Yeah.
And the reveal of the Batmobile.
Yes.
The new Batmobile.
Yes.
Enjoyed that. And the sound of the Batmobile in IMAX went straight through you. It was great. Your whole body shuddered when it came on.
Oh, so, yes, you got to see it in IMAX, of course. Nice.
Oh, it was tremendous.
I'm sure it was.
And lastly, also, I would say Colin Farrell was excellent. Truly unrecognisable, but superb.
Yeah.
He's totally made up for Bullseye in Daredevil.
Yeah, you would just never know that is Colin Farrell unless you were told. I think the makeup, voice, everything, you would just not notice him, would you?
Take it easy,
Take it easy, sweetheart. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think the 5 kind of highlights for me were Paul Dano's Riddler. As you say, it's a great cast, and they're all uniformly excellent. However, I think I need to single out Paul Dano, because what a performance. Scary, creepy, an A-grade wacko. He's like the Zodiac Killer or John Doe from Seven. And surely the guy will get some acting nods come awards season for this. Surely. He's excellent. I thought he was, anytime he was on the screen, brilliant. I think the cinematography by Greg Fraser, who's an Australian. Now, I know the guy's he's talented because he's done the likes of Star Wars, Rogue One, The Mandalorian, and Dune. The film looks sensational. They obviously went for something which was a film noir, but the shadows, the blacks and the reds, just really beautiful, and it gave us a real feel for Gotham City. I mean, what did you think about Gotham City in this movie?
Yeah, no, the way that they filmed it, like I say, it was dark subject matter, and the way the
Hmm.
cinematography, it was really dark, but it wasn't like um, that third sort of fourth last episode of Game of Thrones that you couldn't see a thing. You had to like change the contrast on your telly to
That's
find out
right.
who was getting killed.
My TV's
This was
broke.
it. This filmed perfectly. The cinematography was outstanding.
It was.
No, loved it.
Again, come award season, it would not surprise.
The only thing that kind
Huh?
of put me off, I know certain bits were filmed in Glasgow, and it was like trying to work out which bits, and then it wasn't until then when I recognised one bit, and it was completely unbelievable because the Duke of Wellington never had a traffic cone on his head.
Yeah, good spot. But no, it's a sensational looking movie though. It really, really is, all the way through. And something else which enhances it is the score by Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
And the Batman movies already have a fine set of scores from the likes of Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer. And I'm a big fan of Michael Giacchino. I think he's one of the best film composers of the last 15 years. And he provides, for me, a great score with wonderful cues for the likes of the Riddler, Batman, and Catwoman. And I think it says it all that I think we all had the Batman main theme implanted in our heads already, and that was purely from the trailers.
I think
Boom, 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 boom.
I kind of think that sounded a little bit like a slowed down or scaled back version of like the Imperial March to me.
It
I
is.
kept wanting to go. I kept wanting to go off on that and say, I just like do the full Imperial March, but it was
Yeah. So dum 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 dum. Yeah. Yep. It's kind of the first couple of notes, isn't it? But yeah, I thought it was a great score, and it's actually nice to have what is a comic book movie which has musical motifs for the different characters, which was nice and all quite distinctive. And I really, really hope to bring this out on vinyl and something a really cool looking cover. But I've not seen anything yet, so I'll just have to make do with the digital version until then. But yeah, I thought that was great. Now, one of and this is my fourth example of why this film is great. In the first 20 minutes or so, where we obviously get the Riddler at the beginning doing his first murder, then then we cut to the streets of Gotham, and we get criminals doing various things like spray painting, looking for somebody to assault, robbing a store, that kind of thing. And then they all see the bat signal in the sky, and you've got Batman's voiceover, and he talks about, he wants to scare them, that he might be in the shadows, in the dark, and it showed you the criminals looking into the dark, thinking, is he there? Is he there? And I thought that was so good. Because it really conveyed what Batman's all about, that he could be there. He probably won't be, but he could be, and that's frightening enough for these guys to hightail it out of there.
especially when he makes his eventual appearance in the subway station and just
Oh yeah.
you hear the sound of the footsteps.
Yeah, it's like the gunslinger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just the way he lays down the gang leader. And I just thought, again, how great everything looked and sounded in that scene in the subway. Absolutely outstanding. And my last thing I'd probably highlight is obviously just the writing and directing of Matt Reeves. As someone who loved his Planet of the Apes movies, I was really excited when Reeves got the Batman job, and he's not let me down. He's made a Batman movie like we've not seen before. He's given us a film where Batman is in it almost all of the time, which is unusual, where Batman is shown being the world's greatest detective, and he's got Batman narrating large parts of the movie. So just like we'd see his inner monologue in a comic book. So So it looks glorious, sounds glorious, acting's great, it's got an interesting story that keeps us glued for the 3-hour runtime. I say to Matt Reeves, bravo. So, let us move on to maybe the two things that most disappointed us, or were just plain didn't like from the movie. So, was there any two particular things that you didn't like, Davie?
Probably, like, for the first 2 hours I was gripping, it was just went on at a great pace. Once the bit from the trailer came in where they find Paul Dano in the restaurant, kind of sort of slowed down a bit for me there. It sort of like kind of took a dip, and I was like, I was still good, but I don't think I was. The ending was as big as I wanted it to be. Yeah, it was just like getting flooded and these random people dressed as the Riddler. I thought that was a bit of a letdown there, but it wasn't. That's kind of what stopped it from like being as good as the Christopher Nolan ones. I think it just kind of ran out of steam for a wee bit.
Yeah, I think as good as the actual ending of the film was, where you've got Catwoman and Batman obviously riding off in different directions, and the symbolism of all that, you were just expecting that little final whoa, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Even if they put the Riddler Joker bit at the end.
Yeah. And I'd say the second thing I was disappointed with was the post-credit scene, or lack thereof. Because I think you don't expect these really in Batman movies, although they did start doing them in the Batman Superman ones to try and keep up with the Marvel ones, but sitting around there like the whole audience, because obviously it was a pre-screening, so they're all Batman freaks, wanted to see the post-credit scene, and it just turned out to be like a computer screen with a question mark saying goodbye. It's like I just waited 6 minutes for that.
Oh, so there actually was one. I didn't think there was. I left.
No, there was, aye, but don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's a complete nothing. I think everyone was just more like laughing at it, like we've just been duped.
Yeah, the Riddler riddled you. Yeah, well, I'm glad I didn't stay for that. For two things for me were the lack of humour. There are no laughs in this film.
There's
None.
a couple.
Well,
two.
refresh my memory.
I would say two. I can't remember what it was, but there was definitely a couple.
Right.
No, it's nothing like any Batman movie.
It's not Batman and Robin, that's for sure. With that film, it's unintentional laughs from the awfulness, but yeah, it's even The Godfather, which we just seen on re-release recently, Davey, it's got some laughs in it. This is very much a detective noir action drama, and there's no humour to be found here. And I think maybe, which is something you've already alluded to, which is maybe the lack of a true standout action scene. Because if I think back to the previous Batman movies, I can name, for example, the parade scene in Batman 89, or in The Dark Knight, you've got the Joker heist at the beginning, you've got the Harvey Dent prison transfer, where you get the Batpod appearing. So in this movie, there's some very, very cool fights in it, especially the fight in the rafters of Gotham Square Gardens, and obviously the new Batmobile chase with the Penguin. But it would have been nice to have had something that I think they could have truly hung their hat on and said, yeah check this out. I don't think it maybe had that. Would you agree?
Yeah, because they didn't even like they didn't have something like that to showcase in like in the trailer. There was nothing. No standout moment like with the lorry going up, getting up from the Dark Knight, and that was in the trailer. Like, oh, I cannot wait to see this. Whereas like it wasn't really. I didn't really think the trailer was up to much, to be fair. So that was another reason why I was so surprised that it turned out to be so good.
I mean, I think actually, I mean, there's lots. I think because Patterson's younger and is not as bulked up as some of the other actors who have played Batman. I think with the bat costume, he's obviously much more flexible and agile, and I think that came across in the fighting scenes, which were really cool. And I think the one in Gotham Square Gardens where they were up in the rafters and the people were jumping around, and that was all really, really cool. I did like that, I have to say.
I liked that the batsuit was bulletproof as well. I enjoyed
yes. He got shot a lot in this film, didn't he?
He did.
Which is probably a more realistic take, isn't it? If you've got all these people, you're going to get shot a lot.
I reckon that, obviously, because it's got the bulletproofness, it's when he's wearing the batsuit, he looks a lot larger than he is. So you can kind of see why people wouldn't realise Bruce Wayne's Batman, because when he's not wearing the suit, he's kind of like, I don't want to say gaunt, but he's certainly not the muscle-bound ones that we've seen before. But as soon as the batsuit goes on, it's like a different character.
Yeah. I like in the suit how the Batarang was in the suit. The bat symbol, and he could take that out. But I think it was a cool bit where he used it to cut the police tape to go into the apartment. So that was good. What do you think of the plot overall, Davie? With obviously the protagonist is the Riddler, and what was it? Wasn't regeneration? What was it called? The kind of project that the Waynes had started. Renewable, was it? Renewable? Or something like that, wasn't it?
Something like that. Aye.
Yeah. What did you think of that overall plot?
All the different, like, used to being the Riddler being like a jokey type character, like causing hijinks, and this one he came across as like a terrorist. I think Batman was awfully quick to solve every single riddle, like no bother. Like, I put a lot of thought into these riddles, Batman. I didn't expect you to get them. Like, oh, aye, it's that. So that was kind of a bit of unbelievable to me. Like, he just knows the answers to every single riddle, and then when the guy comes up and he says, "Oh, that's a carpet pusher in our thing," what is it? I'll just look up the carpet.
Yeah. What did you think about? I know, and it looks like Alan's not able to join us now because technical issues. But I know one of the issues Alan had with the movie. He loved it. He thought it was great. But one of the issues he had with it was the runtime. So it's a 3-hour movie, and he felt it could have lost 40 minutes, and it would have been the better for it. What did you think? Because for me personally. It's 3 hours. It felt like a 2-hour movie to me, so it wasn't an issue for me personally. What about you?
Like I said, it went really quickly to start with, but it sort of like ground to a halt when Bruce Wayne visits Gotham in hospital, or Alfred, should I say, and they're having that wee heart-to-heart. And just like from that bit, it sort of kind of like slowed down.
Yes.
So I reckon they could have probably chopped some stuff out there, and maybe taken one Riddler death away. Like, we don't need what's his name, Trevor from EastEnders, really.
And I'm thinking of the runtime because it just so happens I think we've got a run of 4 movies that are 3 hours plus. We obviously together went to see the Godfather reissue last weekend. Yep. Obviously seen the Batman. We've now got the Godfather 2 this week, and then the week after Godfather 3. Jeez.
Yeah, so Godfather 1, that's an example of how a 3-hour movie should be, because that was just like flew in.
Yeah, never really did.
I'm sure if I go and see it again, it'll probably be a lot faster because you know what to expect now.
And you don't have to wait to the expectation.
I would say.
Yeah, exactly. We talked a little bit about it earlier, that obviously the Riddler does get captured he's put in Arkham, and at the end of the movie he starts talking to I was going to say prisoner, but patient, the patient in the cell next to him, and we know that turns out to be the Joker. Are we ready for yet another iteration of the Joker?
I am. Definitely 100%. I think that's what everyone imagines Batman in movies to be. They're always best with the Joker in it. You got Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger. You've got all iconic actors playing them, Joaquin Phoenix. Even getting that good of Harry that they're getting Oscars for it.
You missed out Jared Leto, Davie.
Oh no, that is. He was in two, was he? No, was he in Suicide Squad and what was it, Justice League or in the Supreme Cup?
Yeah.
That was that's how to ruin a character. Yeah, I did not like him at all. Except maybe in the Justice League when he got put in there, it was probably a bit better than that than certainly in Suicide Squad. But
yeah,
that was a complete misstep. As were this Suicide Squad was brilliant, but Suicide Squad was guff.
It was.
And I wasn't big fans of Ben Affleck. Pretty much any Batman movie with Ben Affleck hasn't really been great. So I was quite glad that he didn't keep up the directing and starring duties in this.
Do you know what would have been fabulous? Because it's obviously got a different actor is going to be playing the Joker. It would have been great if it was Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Because, and I say that because this version of Gotham ties in very nicely with the one from the Joker movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So that would have been fantastic. But hey ho. So where would you like to see the series go next? So obviously a big hint that the Joker will be in the next one, but where would you like to see the next movie go?
Yeah, so I don't read the comics and that, so I don't know all the bad guys that are in there, but certainly maybe like Two-Face would be good. But again, for me, it would just be revisiting characters they've had before, so I don't know what new characters that I haven't seen that have been in the comic books that I'm sure die-hard fans would want to see. But yeah,
would you like to see Robin?
Robin. Well, we got Robin a wee bit, didn't we? In the Chris Nolan ones, where what's his name?
Who played
Gordon Levitt?
Yep.
Yeah, which was good, but I think they would have to be very wary after is it Jan de Bont what he done to the Batman franchise, so they would certainly need to.
Joel Schumacher.
Yeah. I don't know. You've heard, don't know how they would fit a Robin suit into this one.
No, I think especially Robert Pattinson's being younger as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it'd be interesting. That's what's quite nice sometimes when you don't have an idea yourself about where it might go, and you just look forward to somebody else having to come up with the great ideas. You can just go along and enjoy it.
That's what I loved about the Chris Nolan ones. Like, 'cause I had no idea who Bane was until that movie, and it's only like reading things before it was like, oh, Bane's the only person that broke Batman's back. Went, oh, this would be good, and they did it.
That's right.
I thought that was quality.
So, would this movie get into your top 3 Batman films of all time based on that initial one viewing, Davie?
It's up there, but not top 3. Top 5, maybe. Top 5, yeah. Top 5, definitely.
What would be your top 3?
Top 3 would be original Batman, 89, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. Yeah, for me it'd be Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and maybe Batman 89. But has it got potential to get in there? Absolutely, with repeated viewing. It's definitely got potential, and I'm actually looking forward to. I'm sure I read that Warner Bros has a 90-day theatrical exclusive on this. So once the 90 days is up, I think they'll put it on HBO Max in the US, and it'll also be out to rent or buy everywhere else. So yeah, look forward to hopefully being able to own that and watch it at home for next month. Or I might just go back and see it at the cinema again, which I probably will do.
Yep, well,
Maybe try and sneak looking again this time. Okay, well, thank you for your time this evening, Davie, and
hopefully
thanks to you all.
Catch up with Al offline and maybe get him edited in.
If I can be bothered, yeah. Yeah, so thanks for your time, Davie, and thanks to you all for listening. Want to discuss the Batman with us, head over to the Trimming the Movie Fat Facebook group page, and look out for the next pod dropping next week, and that's dedicated to the Bourne franchise, and you're of course in that one as well, Davie.
Ah, excellent.
Yes, so 2 appearances in quick succession, and you still haven't been paid.
Nope. I got a t-shirt once.
Well, there you go. That's good enough. And next month it's the turn of the Home Alone series. So until next time, on this same Bat channel, keep trimming.